Donald Trump's dreams had become America's reality. His economy had effortlessly defied gravity. By the second quarter of 2018, the gross domestic product had topped 4.1%. Wages were up, unemployment was down. CNN had promised a Trump win would sink stocks. Instead, the New York Stock Exchange broke record highs 96 times in his first 2 years in office. They were even now saying that a recession was imminent and the spectacular growth of the previous 2 years was finally at an end. But they would be wrong yet again. The boom would continue well into 2019. A market correction would come, of course, at some point, but while the world's economic growth was stagnant, Trump's America was still vibrant. By the end of Donald Trump's first year as president, he had dramatically delivered on the two biggest issues of the 2016 presidential election campaign: creating jobs and destroying the terrorist caliphate of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS. By the end of his second year in office, the growing list of accomplishments had been vastly expanded. It was chronicled by Paul Bedard in a Washington Examiner article entitled "Trump's List: 289 Accomplishments in Just 20 Months. Relentless Promise-Keeping." The critics had not anticipated Donald Trump's upset election as president. They had not believed in his promises of an early economic recovery. They were in denial about the fall of ISIS, which had lost its 35,000 square miles of territory. Now they were saying that it had not been completely eliminated and therefore the war had not been won. It was like saying that the Allies had not really won World War II because there were still Nazis in the world. Even before he had run for president, still as a businessman, Donald Trump had favored a quote from the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. In 2014, Trump had tweeted, "Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see." Both Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton had mocked Trump on the campaign trail. "Where's he going to get these jobs?" Obama asked. "Does he have a magic wand?" Clinton had ridiculed his secret plan to destroy ISIS. The secret is that he has no plan. What economic and foreign policy experts could not see, what Obama and Clinton could not see, what the media could not see, Donald Trump had seen clearly and openly proclaimed. Like Schopenhauer's genius, Donald Trump had found a different way to make the government work, and the results were undeniable. When Donald Trump was first elected president, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. declared that the colorful businessman had a chance to be a great president because he thought outside the box. It was Trump's iconoclastic, sometimes outrageous methods that allowed him to jumpstart an economic recovery. In the process, the forgotten American middle class was able to once again find its footing and renew its dreams. And it was Trump's ability to think outside the box that had finally brought the elusive ISIS to heel. Ironically, the more hysterical and desperate the attacks on President Trump and his family, the more outrageous the move toward impeachment, the more deeply the Trumps would be etched into the marble of history. Future writers would not be moved by fabricated stories dubbing him a Russian spy, or by the national publication that promoted false and vulgar stories about the First Lady, or by popular late-night comedians who asked their television audiences to promote pornographic images about the Trump family. In time, the gleeful, obscene, personal attacks on the Trump family, egged on by corporate media executives and promoted by their chosen public figures, would make most reasonable observers recoil. History would be built with facts, not by the crude emotion that was used to drive television ratings. Yet that very passion, intended to diminish Donald Trump, ultimately strip him of power, and reverse the will of the people who had elected him president, only ensured that his hours and days in the White House would be more memorable. The accusations added to the drama and helped ensure that the real achievements would not be forgotten. Eventually, the stories that were false would be ground to powder by history. Meanwhile, their very whispered existence would be an irresistible lure for writers, artists, and playwrights. They would add to the fascination and mystery of this rich and powerful family. Writing an official history.